the steamiest, sexiest comic book show of all freaking time is back on YouTube. What's up, everybody? Welcome, CBBC. CBBC, the hottest, the steamiest, sexiest comic book show of all freaking time is back on YouTube. We're bringing it to you semi-live.
Yeah.
9 episodes. Corey, how you doing?
Doing good.
You making it? You beat any games lately? I know you hot with your Switch.
Yeah, I did. I beat Astral Chain.
Yeah, you did. How long it took you?
And Fire Emblem. Astral Chain was about 20 hours. It wasn't too bad.
Just so real quick before we move on to comics and talking about video games.
Yeah, right now we're talking about video games.
No, but I don't even give a shit. We're actually going to be reducing the channel for right now to the one show. CBBC is going to be our flagship. J&D's taking a break, but we will have a send-off for that. Of course, we're going to also be playing Labyrinth Lifers still for the D&D heads that still follow all that. But CBBC is our crown jewel, as it should be. So I have no qualms about just us talking about, what we're doing, and that's just the way it is. People are gonna have to live with it.
Yes.
Sure. The parental guidance is gonna have to bite the bullet, and then Nate, if you're listening to this, you're gonna have to deal with it, bruh. Sorry, this is what we doing.
I think he's down with it.
I know. I'm messing with him. We love you, Nate. So, speaking of video games, so you said Astral Chain, it took you how long?
About 20 hours.
20 hours?
Yeah.
What about Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem was, let's say, 30 or 60.
Yeah.
Either 30 or 60. I can't remember which one. Yeah, I think it was 60.
Who are you giving the nod to?
Thinking Borderlands 3 right now.
Oh, yeah. The other two aren't even in the running comparatively.
No, they definitely are. It's between Fire Emblem and Borderlands. Astral Chain is definitely number 3 right now for me.
Really? I'm shocked to hear that.
I know, so am I. I thought it would be number 1.
I thought it would be too. Wow. Okay.
After playing through it, it's just kind of repetitive, to be honest. Yeah. And like, I'm not talking shit about it. I really liked it. It's number 3. Like,
yeah.
But just like, it's kind of repetitive. A lot of the bosses were the same. A lot of the abilities for like your different Astral Chain things were the same. And then it's also like really different. Like, you have to be really good at action games to actually get it down. Like, because you have to control your Astral Chain monster or whatever and yourself at the same time. So to get really good at it, all your fingers are moving and controlling, and you have to be on point to actually like be a pro at that. And
I'm totally gonna skip it for Luigi's Mansion 3.
Good. Tell me how it is, because
that's my next one. So I also bought 2 games. I actually bought several games. I got PlayStation Now. Um,
Oh, nice.
I abandoned I abandoned Infamous already because it's just too dated,
Oh,
man. I just, you
really?
know. Yeah, I liked it. Don't get
That
me wrong.
dated? I loved that game when it came out, like, but it
I
was a
like
long.
it.
That was 8 years ago, I think. So,
Yeah, it's not anything to do with the game. I just, there's times in your lives that you are more apt to playing games with old mechanics, and you're okay with it. I'm just not there right now, and it's probably the Switch's fault because the Switch is so bright and fresh, and the mechanics are so smooth
yeah.
that to jump back to Infamous, it's very jarring. Um,
I'm liking your Switch now. You were kind of negative when you first got it.
oh yeah.
I feel like it just wasn't charged up yet when you first got it or whatever. And,
Oh,
but no,
I'm inseparable. It brings me to my next thing. I bought 2 games for the Switch. I got Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, which
really,
is yes, which is sold as one game.
fifty
Um,
dollars.
yes, I spent it.
Damn,
I did. And
nice. Did you play it?
I started it. I'm like at the very beginning, but it's so, man,
I'm
you want to talk
super
about
tempted to
dated?
buy those. Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't want to get them, dude. It should be $20 for those two for how
It
old they
should be
are. Like
way
that.
overpriced for what
That
they are.
that's why I didn't buy it. Like I
I think the
really
only
want them.
reason the
I
only reason
really.
they're charging what they're charging is because it's over 200 hours of gameplay,
Yeah. But
which
that
is
doesn't count. That's still not worth it when it's 1998.
that's true.
98? That's fucking.
It doesn't even look like it's
That's
updated
before
that
the
much.
internet.
Yeah, right, right. Totally. No, it doesn't look like I was expecting something more remastered. I thought it would be a lot cleaner and like a lot more user friendly with modern times. I'm not saying I'm not going to play the shit out of it, and
Yeah.
it's like it's
I
the
want to
other
play it for the lore alone, just to control a
absolutely.
party that goes through it with the lore and
And
stuff.
also for an old D&D head, it really calls out to me because it uses AD&D rules. So
Oh,
that
really?
strikes a nerve with like I really appreciate that about it. But my highlight was Link's Awakening,
Oh, yeah.
and I have not put that shit down. Second I bought it, dude, that game is fucking awesome. And you would think it's like, oh, it's just a basic Zelda game, and it is, but it's just fun. I don't know. It's
No,
the same as Mario Odyssey. It's fun as hell. Like
did you play that? You probably didn't. I played it on the Game
I
Boy.
did
It
not.
came out on the Game Boy.
I did not play it on Game Boy.
That was one of my first Game Boy games,
Yeah.
and I loved it, and I never
Yeah.
beat it actually, which is why I kind of really want to buy it. But,
It looks gorgeous. The sword swinging motion is so addictive and like pleasing to your fingers. Like swiping, like stabbing with your sword is so like you get so much pleasure out of doing it. Uh, Such a simple mechanic, and it's so fast, and it really hits like the epicenter of your brain, and it's very very pleasing. I love it though. Like I'm totally gonna play more tonight when we get out of here. Um, but that's the games for now. I'm gonna try to beat also. Um, just so I can move on, I'll try to beat Hellblade tonight. I don't think I have much further. I hope.
did you did you go through like the
I got two
shadow
doors beat.
area?
I got 2 doors beat. I'm in the hell doors.
Have you
So
gone through the one that's like all dark?
All dark. I don't know.
No,
It's been
you
a
haven't
while
then.
since I
You
played.
haven't then.
I still got a while.
No, no, you're close. You're close.
Okay, good.
But,
All right. So I'll mark in the edit when the actual comic book talk starts. So
I know we
people
talked
that,
video game.
well, that's fine. If y'all don't want to hear the video game talk, just fast forward to the link at the bottom, and I'll make sure that you know you guys
Yeah,
can start here. So comic books.
yeah.
You reading anything this week?
Um, no, no, but I'm
Not
playing.
particularly. Yeah, I kind of I didn't read nearly as much as I normally do. I'm kind of behind to be honest, but I did finish Snow Glass Apples,
Oh,
which,
nice.
dude, absolutely a must read. And just you have to
That's
don't
gaming, right?
yes, don't get the digital version. You gotta buy this because the art is the art's incredible, and it's basically a reverse story of Snow White as a vampire. Um, so you know, like the
Basically, a reverse story of Snow White as a vampire.
Snow White's a vampire, and the stepmom is actually the good guy, and Snow White's the bad guy. So,
I don't believe that.
and it's hot, dude. It is hot. There's a lot of sex in it. Uh, I mean, you can see there's a lot of love making.
Nice.
Beautifully illustrated by Colleen Doran, who's one of the best in the industry. I wrote her a sweet note on Twitter, and she responded that it's
Is
like,
she?
yeah, she said it was like the best thing that she'd heard all day. So,
You were
uh,
tight with the creators over here.
dude, I have so many that respond to me. Mark Russell's responded to me. Um, yeah, I've had a bunch. The guy that created Thumbs, I talked to him.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's all.
Sean Lewis, I think. Brian Hill, I've talked to. So, yeah, Twitter's awesome for that. You know, it's one of the few things it's awesome for. I got um, Monstrous 4, which I mentioned last week, but I started it, and dude, Monstrous is such an interesting book, right? I don't know how far you are in it. Um, how far are you in it?
Probably volume one. Like,
Yeah.
just finished it.
It's such an interesting book. Like, you really have to focus. You cannot just,
Yeah, I know.
you cannot,
That's
like,
my problem with it, to be honest.
yeah. And the
Like,
thing is, it's great. You can't, like,
yeah, I want to focus.
yeah, you
Like,
can't deny because you can tell how amazing the story is, you know? And it's so, like, layered, and the mythology is so potent and heavy, and there's so much of it. Um, but you really cannot be like reading other things while you're reading it. Like
right.
you got to focus on it by itself. But the positive is that it really takes you to another world that like anytime I read it, I feel like I'm somewhere else. I feel like I'm in the world that she's describing, and it's very different. Everything is smoky, and lots of the cat people, and you know all the anamorphic characters in it are totally awesome, and the art's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, the
Um,
art's insane. I don't understand how it comes out
how
on a
I know.
consistent basis with how detailed that shit is.
I want some more Sana Takeda. I don't know what else she does, but I told him when I get some more. And then I just bought a Cinder, but I haven't read it. This is the beginning. You know, this Cinder ended. This is Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Dustin Wynn. And Ascender is the next series that follows up. Haven't started it yet. Right now, I finished Criminal Volume 3, Wonder Twins 8, which is about to wrap up. Flintstones Volume 2 continues to be my favorite. of the year.
So that's gonna get number one, isn't it?
It might get number one. It's up there, dude. I don't know if number one. It's up there. It's that and HOXPOX. Gideon Fall 17 was incredible. And Invaders number 10, which is great. I'll tell you about that one off air because it's too much to get into right now. But it involves Cap and Namor. It's a series about
Really?
the old invaders from the 40s.
I
And
kind
what they're
of
doing
miss.
now.
I miss Namor, dude. He's
Dude,
not
Namor
being.
is fucking badass.
Yeah, I
And in
love
this
Namor.
series,
But,
in this series, he's particularly badass because he doesn't take shit from anybody. Like,
yeah, he never does.
he's basically like, fuck you, Cap, fuck Human Torch, like all that shit. He does not. I love Namor. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters, absolutely.
Yeah, Namor.
I wanted to start a new thing
Way
where.
cooler than Aquaman.
What's that?
Way cooler than Aquaman.
No, dude. Not even a contest.
Yeah.
He would whip Aquaman's ass. I wanted to start a little thing where I just mentioned a few books that people should check out, and I plan on checking out. So Ones to Look Out For is the name of it.
Right.
I got 3. There's one called Superman Smashes the Klan. I don't know if you've seen that, but
I heard about it,
yeah, it's got great reviews. Really weird. I don't know if it's great reviews just because people believe in the political message, or if it's great reviews because the story is awesome. So I'll be reading and giving my opinion on that. Also, Batman's Grave, number 1, which is Warren Ellis, who's the guy that wrote Castlevania for Netflix.
Yeah. Great.
As well as like a million other things. He's totally awesome. And then in time for Halloween, Antarctic Press put out a series called Horror Comics. That's what it's called. So if you want to get your fix of horror comics, there's a series called Horror Comics. Check it out. So, to our books.
To the books.
To the books.
HOXPOX.
The biggest thing in like fucking 5 years in the Marvel universe, probably, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can't think of a more momentous thing. Have you been like following people on Twitter, like freaking out about how much they love this? There's just it's an entire community of people that are obsessed with HOXPOX.
Really, yeah, honestly, I try to avoid that shit.
I know.
I try to keep an open opinion, so I try to avoid social media, to be honest.
I understand, and I totally I support you in that endeavor. But some of the shit is just so funny. Their takes on it are so great that it's really funny to read their comments on it. They talk about how sassy Sinister is. Sassy.
Sinister?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very sassy.
Very sassy. So we're covering both House of X and Powers of X. This is the end of the HOXPOX series, 12-part, 6 apiece.
Yeah.
Written by Jonathan Hickman, of course. The artist is Pepe Larraz.
And Hickman's writing X-Men. I feel like we've talked about that multiple times, and we acted like we didn't know who the writer was, but he's writing X-Men.
He's writing X-Men and New Mutants with somebody else, I think.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
Which I'm very excited about. Because New Mutants is one of my favorite teams. And so, what'd you think?
What I think.
Let's start off with House of. Well, we'll just talk about both of them. If you feel like talking about House of X first, go for it. But
what did I think? All right, I'll just. Um,
we have Xavier and Eric
Xavier is what, basically
together,
God now. Or,
essentially. I assume, yes. If he's creating mutants,
he's
through
creating husks that gold balls,
yeah,
along with Hope Summers and the rest of the five. You know, they're creating life now, and they brought Wolverine, Nightcrawler. They all fucking died. Fucking Jean, they all died, and then they brought them back.
yeah.
So
Does
they're
that
all
explain?
duplicates now.
Let me
Which
ask
is
you this.
weird.
Does that explain, like, in Powers, why we see them 1,000 years in the future?
Maybe.
Because we're seeing versions of them. It's not
Dude,
exactly them,
don't
but
ask me to explain anything about powers, man.
I know, I
It's
know.
so confusing. Like,
But the shock and awe, and altogether bad fucking assness of Xavier and Eric being on the same side,
yeah.
same vision as one, is just so breathtaking. Like, that panel of them looking in the sky together just gave me goosebumps. I was just like, holy shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and that was in both books when they're
Yeah, right.
with the celebration and them both staring up. That was dope. But at the
Yep,
same time, they seem kind of villainous to us human beings.
they
Us
are.
Homo sapiens, dude. They're a threat at now,
But are they a
you
villain
know,
because they put up with this shit for so long? You know,
yeah. But they said they're gonna take on the world. I mean,
depends what they do
uh,
when they take on the world. You know, I mean,
like,
basically, he's
yeah,
making a deal like, we've got these meds. We know you want them. All we want is our own piece of land. We'll give you these. Leave us the fuck alone. You know,
yeah.
but
But
they
then
have
they
to.
talk about expansion. They talk about expansion,
They do.
like with the other
Yep.
mutants and taking on the whole world. They
I think
said
that's a
that.
contingency plan that they have to keep in place in case humans start acting up, which they inevitably will. Can't tell me like look at the politicians we deal with today. You can't tell me they're not going to try and, you know, take back what they gave the mutants, you know? I got a feeling they're going to try to go after Krakoa. You know, they don't want the mutants to have that much power. They just don't.
All right.
And, you know,
The other thing I thought, Cyclops is the Summers house on the
yes.
moon. That shit was wild, and they're
And
bringing back dead mutants.
yeah.
So he brought back his dad. He has whole family up on his cabode on the moon. Like,
It's getting out of control.
it's it's out of control. You know that's just not gonna last. They're bringing back everyone. They got the villains on their side. They brought the villains to their side,
Yep.
and then now they're resurrecting anyone. Like
How does this
re-
end exactly? Because, like, what are humans supposed to do with this?
I mean, humans are fucked.
Right?
Like,
I mean, there's people like, I mean, is Spider-Man considered a mutant? No, because he doesn't
no,
have it in his genetics,
no,
right?
he's not a mutant.
And then the Fantastic Four, that
They're
they're
not
not considered,
mutants.
right, with the exception of Franklin.
Franklin. definitely
are not
mutant.
mutants. So there's a
Frankly, it
group.
might be the most powerful mutant
Correct. Yeah.
of all.
Omega. Omega level. Yeah. And then there's also Inhumans. So I don't know. I don't know how this ends. I can't imagine it ends well, but it depends what the offensive is that Charles and Eric do, particularly with that council that they threw together, the seasons council.
Yeah.
Who do you think is
Oh,
going to be
tough
the
count.
Red King?
On Emma's side,
Yeah, that's the last seat to fill, I believe.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Give me Banshee. uh,
I,
I have no idea either, to be honest.
yeah, I mean,
Dude,
but the way they exiled Sabretooth,
I was about to
that
get
was
into
some
that.
cold-hearted shit.
It was absolutely cold hearted. But they did it in as fair of a fashion as they felt they could. It just
Oh man,
wasn't very sympathetic. Uh, you know, I felt like they could have given him a pass this one time,
yeah,
considering that the rules had just been really introduced.
right. They judged him on rules that before they were even enacted. Like,
Right.
they did.
Yeah. Right. Right. Totally. Yeah. And but I mean, you think they're gonna bring him back?
Hopefully not. Fuck Sabretooth.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to like Victor Creed a lot, but that was in the Wolverine books that Larry Hama was writing. You know, outside of that, he's become pretty two-dimensional. Uh, so I don't know. I love that we had a ton of great philosophical discussions throughout. I mean, it was way heady and above anything that a 9-year-old could read and
Yeah,
grasp, or a 41-year-old in some cases.
yeah,
Uh, the uh, the inclusion of like the maps and the breakdowns of like intelligences and what happens when they gather and societies and the I don't know all the terminology that was used, but um, that was fantastic, man. I can't believe that guy just was able to construct all that and implement it into the X universe.
right.
Something that was
Yeah,
so basic for so long, you know. He just uh, invited life into and really just restarted it to the point that it doesn't even feel like the same. It doesn't feel like the same title or X universe at all.
oh yeah.
Uh,
The X
uh
universe is so different now.
Man,
It's
dude,
them versus the humans,
yeah,
and they're taking the offensive this time.
yes.
Like,
And for the first time ever, we get
yeah,
Eric and uh, and and
Professor
Charles on
X.
the same side, and that's a massively dangerous thing for humans. I don't know how you
Yeah, you're
rectify
screwed.
that, man. Yeah, that's heavy. You know what I'm thinking is who we haven't seen as far as I can think. Have you seen Legion in there anywhere?
No,
I haven't. Right?
David.
Yeah,
No,
I haven't seen David. He's got to be in an Omega, right?
he was on that list. He was on the list.
Oh, he
That,
is?
yeah, on that.
Okay.
He was in that list of Omega mutants. He
So
was there.
they show him there. We just haven't seen him in the book.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was super hyped when I saw that. Like,
Absolutely. Because I want to know what the
shit.
mystery of that is, man.
I know, dude. Legion is so awesome.
Dude, if we could get a story with Legion and Franklin, holy shit.
I know, right?
Make that happen, Marvel. My
Shit.
God. I'm so excited for all these books, man. Marauders, freaking New Mutants, Fallen Angels. Fallen Angels, I think, is the one that Brian Hill's going to be writing. Fallen Angels, if I'm correct, listen to this team, is, well, crap. Fallen Angels 2019, number 1. Psylocke,
Okay.
Young Cable, and Laura.
X-23?
Yeah. How badass is that?
That's,
It's a trio.
yeah, that's solid.
Fucking
Solid
Psylocke,
trio.
Laura, and Young Cable.
Young Cable.
And it's Brian Hill writing it. So I'm so freaking hyped for that, man. Jeez Louise. Well, I think that's it. Oh,
All nice books for next week.
yeah, before that though, I just wanted to mention when Wolverine took that dude out that thought he wouldn't be taken out, I thought that was hot shit. Like he just
Yeah.
kind of did, you know,
Yeah.
like right up on him. Like,
Solid, yeah.
oh yeah, you expecting that? No, you weren't. I took you
Yeah.
out. And then taking Mora out,
Yeah.
was brutal. But
Thing is, he told her it would be quick, and then he put it through her stomach. And I was like, ugh, fuck,
yeah,
dude.
that's
You
not quick.
should have put it through the skull.
Yep, for brain. That ain't quick.
Yeah, that's not quick at all.
No,
I was thinking,
right.
like, then I just tried to be like, no, comic book world. You just
Yeah.
killed her.
Yep. No, it was a great scene. And then her journals were great too. I just want to end on that.
Yeah.
But okay, so what we got next?
Next show we have a couple of great books. Um, uh, hopefully both of these books are out. If you're watching if this show current, these are out this Wednesday. But
Great.
the 30th. These both drop on October 30th.
Sweet.
The first one we're going to talk about is the Invisible Kingdom number 6.
Nice.
Yeah,
Digging
written by written by G. Willow Wilson with art by Christian Ward.
One of the best in the game.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Dark Horse. And the
Nice.
other one is sounds like it's gonna be super dope. It's gonna be cool, right? You would think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Joker Killing Smile number 1, written by
Oh yeah.
Jeff Lemire with art by Andrea Sorrentino. The same
Absolutely.
team that's behind Gideon Falls.
Yep.
Writing a Joker book. It's gonna be good, right? It
And
has
if you've seen the cover for Killer Smile, they released it early on. It's wildly different from any take of the Joker thus far. He basically looks like a normal dude, and he's got like the red kind of smeared on his lips. If it's, I mean, Lemire doing a Joker book, I mean, sign me up, dude. I'm there all day. All day. I'll
all day.
pitch a fucking tent outside. I want it so bad. Well, cool, man. I just want to take this time to thank Marvel for rebooting the X universe in the correct way. Those books meant a lot to me growing up, and to see it done correctly and actually done in a manner that I was not expecting and done with quality and care and smartly done, shows that Marvel cares. You know, they're not
Yeah.
just trying to mail it in anymore, and they're making DC look like chumps. So, uh, um, I just appreciate it. And Jonathan Hickman, Pepe Larraz, y'all are awesome. I can't remember the third artist's name, but um, thank you so much for making these books great. And I'm so excited for Dawn of X. I'm gonna read X-Men #1 tonight if I don't fall asleep. So.
Yeah. I read it. It's really good.
Oh, you did already?
Yeah, I read it.
Nice. Cool. That
All
was
right.
CBBC #9. Catch us on the
Yeah.
flip. Check those books
Yeah.
out. Get back to us. Love y'all. See y'all next time.
All right.